Hi students, welcome back to this video. Let us get started our new session. Okay, listen to this quote. Always use branded items in life for lips, truth, for voice, prayer, for eyes, sympathy, for hand, charity, for heart, love, and for face, smile. Okay, come back to the topic. These are the topics we are going to study today about biofortification, single cell protein, tissue culture, somatic hybridization. Let us see one by one. Plant breeding for improved food quality. More than 840 people in the world do not have adequate food to meet their daily food and nutritional requirements. A far greater number, 3 billion people, suffer from micronutrient, protein, vitamin deficiencies, or hidden hunger because they cannot afford to buy enough fruits, vegetables, legumes, fish, and so on. Diets lacking essential micronutrients, particularly iron, vitamin A, iodine, and zinc, that increase the risk for disease, reduce lifespan, and reduce mental abilities. What is the solution for this all for all these kinds of problems? Biofortification is one of the solution. So what do you mean by biofortification? Breeding crops with higher levels of nutrients, and it helps to improve public health. What are the objectives of biofortification? To improve protein content. Second one, improve oil content and quality. To improve vitamin content. To improve micronutrient and mineral contents. There are some examples for hybrids with improved nutritional quality. Maize hybrids having twice the amount of amino acid like lysine, tryptophan, etc., while compared to existing maize hybrids. Wheat variety named Atlas 66 having high protein content. So this is important, this name from your examination point of view. Wheat variety named Atlas 66 that has high protein content. Then iron fortified rice variety containing over 5 times as much iron as in common varieties. Vegetable crops rich in vitamins and minerals released by Indian Agricultural Research Institute, New Delhi. So here vitamin A enriched carrot, spinach, pumpkin. Other one is vitamin C enriched bitter gourd, bathua, mustard, tomato. Iron and calcium enriched spinach and bathua. Protein enriched beans. broad, lab, French, and garden peas. These are the examples. So, what is biofortification? Breeding crops with higher levels of nutrients is called biofortification. The other one is single cell protein. What do you mean by single cell protein? Okay, you can see this slide. It is an alternate source of proteins for animals and human nutrition. Example, spirulina, a blue-green alga. It is an alternate sources of proteins for animal and human nutrition. Conventional agricultural production of cereals, pulses, vegetables, fruits, etc. may not be able to meet the demand of food at the rate at which human and animal population is increasing. The shift from grain to meat diet also creates more demand for cereals as it takes 3 to 10 kilogram of grain to produce 1 kilogram of meat by animal farming. More than 25% of human population is suffering from hunger and malnutrition. One of the alternate sources of proteins for animal and human nutrition, that is single cell protein. Here, microbes are being grown on an industrial scale as source of good protein. Example, spirulina, named blue-green alga. The other example, or we can say that a 250 kilogram cow produces only 200 gram protein per day, but 250 gram of microorganisms like Methylophilus methylotrophus produce 25 tons protein per day. That is due to high rate of biomass production and growth. So here one example spirulina and here the other example is Methylophilus methylotrophus that produce 25 tons protein per day. It is due to high rate of biomass production and growth. It is rich in protein, minerals, fat, carbohydrates, and vitamins. It is grown on materials like wastewater from potato processing plants, straw, molasses, animal manure, and sewage. This also reduces environmental pollution. The next topic is tissue culture. What do you mean by tissue culture? What are the other terms? They are callus culture or meristem culture or micropropagation or in vitro culture. Okay. The word in vitro means inside the laboratory. It is taking place inside the lab. What is the basic principle of tissue culture? The basic principle is totipotency. What do you mean by totipotency? The ability to generate a whole plant from any cell of a plant is known as totipotency. So here you can see one more term that is explant. What do you mean by explant? Explant is any part of a plant that is grown in a test tube under sterile nutrient media. Or simply, we can say that the part of the plant which is used for tissue culture is known as explant. Okay, whatever it is under sterile nutrient media. Then, what all things are present in this nutrient media? The nutrient media are otherwise known as culture medium. Nutrient medium is otherwise known as what? Culture medium. Culture media or nutrient media. Then, what are present in this culture media or the nutrient medium? It consists of carbon source such as sucrose, carbon source such as sucrose, inorganic salt, vitamins, amino acids, growth regulators like auxins and cytokinins. You have studied the functions of auxins as well as cytokinins. Yes, one of the important function is cell division, cell elongation, etc. These are the some functions of the growth regulators like auxins and cytokinins. See here you can see these explants are growing inside the some conical flask or in the test tube, and also it is done in the laboratory, that is in vitro. The method of producing thousands of plants in very short time through tissue culture is called micropropagation. That is why it is known as micropropagation. Why it is known as micropropagation? It produces thousands of plants in very short time. Then what about the progeny? So the plants will be genetically identical. The progeny is genetically identical to the original plant, so that they are known as somaclones. Thousands of progeny we will get, so that it is known as micropropagation. The produced progenies are the exact copy of the parent, means they are genetically identical, so that they are known as somaclones. Here all it is very important from your examination point of view. Examples: tomato, banana, apple, etc. See, you can see, listen, you can see the procedure of tissue culture. Okay, from this taproot of the carrot, they have taken the explant. Explant means the part of the plant which is growing under sterile medium for tissue culture. Okay, so here and all it is clear what they are doing. To take the explant, these methods are adapted, then places inside the petri dish or in a test tube. Then, after providing the nutrient media or culture medium that consists of various kinds of nutrients plus plant hormones, then later for after 4 to 6 weeks they produces callus. Callus means group of cells. That is why it is known as callus culture. Then transfer to root development in medium. In order to develop the root, they provide another medium. Root and shoot development is taking place in between 4 to 8 weeks. Then after that, it is transferred to the soil. Then that to grow into a mature plant. So this is the method. So here, wherever it is taken, The exact copy we will get. They are genetically identical. That is why they are known as somoclones. At a time, we get thousands of progeny, so that it is known as micropropagation. At the beginning, we have studied various names of tissue culture. Okay, then one more is remaining. Why it is known as meristem culture? Tissue culture is also used for recovering healthy plants from diseased plants. The meristem is used for the purpose. That is why it is known as meristem culture. It will be free of virus. The meristem is free of virus. From infected plant is removed and grown it in vitro to obtain virus free plants. That means for tissue culture, we are taking the meristem, so that meristem is always disease free, so that we can develop disease free plant from an infected plant that is growing in vitro. Then scientists have cultured meristems of banana, sugarcane, potato. We can give some examples for tissue culture. They are banana, sugarcane, and potato. The meristem culture procedure is given here, that we have seen the same method we have seen earlier. Okay. Somatic hybridization. So what is somatic hybridization? It is the fusion of protoplast from two different varieties of plants with desirable characters to get hybrid protoplast. Examples, it can be grown to form a new plant called somatic hybrids. Can you give one example? Example is tomato. How do we isolate the protoplast? Protoplast can be isolated after digesting the cell wall of plant cell. Example, protoplast of tomato and potato. Tomato and protoplast of potato and produces tomato. This hybrid plant has the characteristic of tomato and potato, but it has no all desired characteristics for its commercial utilization. So that is known as somatic hybridization. Example is tomato. Then tell me, what are the merits of tissue culture or advantages of tissue culture? Yes, first one. We get disease-free plant because we are using the meristem for this particular method. So first one is disease-free plant we can produce. And the second one, we get thousands of plants in very short time. That is micro propagation. Second advantage, we get thousands of plants in very short time. Okay, and the third one, these plants are genetically identical to original plants. So third point is somoclones. First point, we get virus-free plants or disease-free plants. Second point, micropropagation. That means we get thousands of progenies. Third one, we get somoclones. That means the progeny is genetically identical to the parent. Okay. Then what is the basic principle of tissue culture? That is totipotency. What do you mean by totipotency? The ability to generate a whole plant from any cell. Then what is explant? The part of the plant which is used for tissue culture. Okay, students, that's all about today's class. Thank you for watching this video.